Anti-Semitism kills. Hate kills. And it is killing right here in our country. And the upsetting cynicism of this White House is that you have somebody who, on one hand, sees actual, literal, no shit, Jews will not replace us anti-Semites as very fine people. And on the other hand, believes that he can get people to think that he is a friend of the Jewish people by aligning not even with Israel, but with a certain kind of politics within Israel.
Our VAUGHN Hilliard is in Washington, D.C. Vaughn, who is sticking out the most at this conference?
Yeah, good afternoon, Joe. I just want to set the scene for you first real fast. We are in downtown Washington, D.C. here at the Convention Center, and the first part of this day just wrapped up here. Behind us here, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi will be speaking at a gala here tonight. To set it up, kind of, J Street is a liberal, dovish Jewish advocacy organization which has called for a two-state solution. It's been critical of Netanyahu's reign in Israel and President Trump and the direction that he has taken the U.S.'s relationship with Israel. You know, we should note, you know, it was Julian Castro who spoke just a bit ago here, the Secretary and Democratic presidential candidate, who noted the rise in what you could call partisanship, along with the rise of Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. The two, Netanyahu and Trump, have used each other. Netanyahu has been running for re-election this year in Israel, and part of his campaign has been touting his closeness with Donald Trump, the President of the United States, and Donald Trump in turn has gone along with much of the policies that Netanyahu has pressed, including the declaring proclamation of acknowledging and recognizing the annexation of the Golan Heights. So several of these Democratic candidates have been very explicit, Joe, in their disagreements with Donald Trump and the U.S.'s relationship with Israel. I want to play for you a part of an interview and a conversation with Julian Castro just a bit ago. You know, Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of President Trump, is leading those Middle East peace talks. The Trump administration has not released its Middle East peace plan yet. But I asked, on the heels of Jared Kushner heading this week to Israel, I asked Julian Castro about Kushner's role in those talks. This is part of what he told me.
And, you know, the idea of Jared Kushner going and negotiating this peace agreement between the Israelis and the Palestinians, one of the thorniest, most complicated types of agreements that you can arrange, it flies in the face of, I think, what a president should do. It doesn't seem serious.
Joe, what you have seen over the last 3 weeks is not only the country, but this Democratic race, just 3 months out from the Iowa caucus, take a keen turn toward foreign policy. Not only has the administration decided to pull back troops from northern Syria, but of course now as Netanyahu is trying to structure a coalition government over in Israel, suddenly there's a keen eye towards the entire Middle East and the U.S. relations with the countries in the region.
Vaughn, as you mentioned, you know, there's been a lot of talk about the Democratic stance as it relates to Israel, the party stance on Israel, and we've seen some members of Congress come out and express support for Palestinians. So what are you hearing on that front, and how are voters reacting to that there at the conference?
And it's interesting. You should go back to 2016. Let's look at those numbers. The Pew Research Center pulled data from exit polling, and 71% of Jewish voters backed Hillary Clinton back in 2016. Of course, Donald Trump has made a play and used his relationship with Bibi Netanyahu to try to make a play for Jewish voters, and even said that it would be disloyal to support Democrats. You know, in talking with individuals here, again, this is a much more liberal Jewish advocacy organization. I was talking with one student earlier. She was telling me that she believes that the Democrats and Jewish voters should be taking more of an eye towards not only looking at supporting the security of the Jewish state, but also at the same time acknowledging the Palestinians and acknowledging what it will take to get to a two-state solution. solution. You know, Bernie Sanders just spoke here this afternoon as well, and just yesterday he received the endorsement of one of two of the first two women Muslims ever elected to Congress. He now has both of those. Of course, there's a Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib out of Michigan and Congresswoman Omar out of Minnesota, both backing Bernie Sanders, the Jewish presidential candidate, Joe.
All right, Vaughn Hilliard on the ground for us with the voters. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.